Mark, I'm sure after the week, a relief to get back on the pitch and a good performance.
Really good. I just wondering how we managed to make it so hard for ourselves in the last 5 or 6 minutes, but I thought we were excellent. It took us a little bit of time to really get into stride, but that's what you get when you bring in a few new faces. I thought some of the stuff we played was decent. I thought we looked strong and organised. We brought in some good players on top of the ones we already have. I think the players responded in the right way. I thought Mo that was his best game for one hell of a long time. Jermaine, all of a sudden, he stepped up. All three lads who made the debut were really good, as they all were. It's good to win because we needed that, and just a pity the game wasn't out of sight and we kept a clean sheet. That's my goalkeeper's first mistake this season, so I'll forgive him that one.
He really should have been out of sight.
We should have been.
Terrific chance in the second half.
We had lots of chances second half, and I said to my strikers on the bench when they come on, I want one of my strikers to score off a back pass, because the number of times I see back passes go back and we're not chasing it. At least, listen, I ain't going to moan at Darryl for missing it. He's picked the wrong option. Should have scored, but he was there, and he's listened to what I say. I'm asking him to do, and that's all I can ask. Bar him, he knows he should score.
But all this against a team who've been very decent away from home in terms of defensive record.
Yeah, I mean they're not on the best of runs, but I saw we watched them the other night, and they caused problems. I thought it was the only shot on target all game. The only shot they had all game really. There was one in the first half. Scotty's made a decent save. To be fair, pushed it wide. Just about us though, we were good. All the new players sort of contributed to a good performance.
You talked about Mo. Obviously, you've been trying to line up another left winger. Is that an impact on Mo's performance?
Yeah, I hope so. I do hope so. It was a pity that it didn't quite happen in the end. Not that we were desperate. Not that we are desperate to get rid of Marlon. It's an awkward one, that one. It would have been a good deal, a decent deal for all parties concerned. Swindon would have got a very good player in Marlon. We'd have got somewhere what we thought we could have got, and we'd have got a player on loan for the rest of the season as well. Luke's been in training with us a couple of days, so it was a bit of a strange one, to be honest. But Swindon we've had a brief contact with them since, and they've been great. They've sort of let Luke train with us yesterday, because he doesn't train with the first team. He trains by himself in the gym. So it's if we are going to pursue it, it was great that he was allowed to come and really good at Swindon, to let him to come and just get a bit of training with us on the grass, because he's someone we want to bring in. And like I say, an awkward situation, but I think we've dealt with it as well, exactly as we should have done.
And what is the current state, Mike? Do you hope the current state of the deal?
We haven't. To be honest, I haven't spoken to anyone at Swindon. I just asked if if the deal perhaps might go ahead, could we just keep Luke training on the grass with us? And he trained with us yesterday, like I say, to try and just to sharpen him up. You can tell he's fit, you can tell he's a good player, but he's lacking in seeing a football, and footballers need to see a football. Hopefully, if the deal can be resurrected. Marlon has been absolutely fantastic for this club. The reason the deal was perhaps happening was, I don't think Marlon will be here next season, no matter what. I'm a type of person, I like total commitment off my players, and Marlon has been totally committed. The reason I haven't offered him a contract between the start of the season and now is because I didn't want to put myself in a position where I'm begrudging Marlon not signing a contract. I got stuff with Luke Summerfield last season. I kept asking him, he kept telling me the right things. 3 hours after the player final, he's on a plane, and I'm told he's got no chance of signing for us again. I didn't want to go there with Marlon. He will be elsewhere next season. I am 90% sure of that. If it goes to a tribunal, then so be it. But it was the right move for Marlon. It was the right move for everybody concerned. Unfortunately, it didn't quite happen, but we'll see where we go.
If Marlon doesn't go to Swindon, could
we've got
still come here?
Yeah, possibly. We want good players at the football club. We've done a lot of ins. We've done a couple of outs, and we're still only 20, 21 with Joe Ankson and Bags, who's on loan at Gloucester right now. So we're not still flush with players. We're really happy now that I think everyone is of the quality that we want. You know, I'm looking at my bench and I'm feeling for boys who are not getting on. We're trying to improve the club immediately and in the medium term as well, and we're hopefully getting there.
And if Marlon can't get to Swindon, do you expect him to stay here?
Well, he won't go anywhere else. Well, listen, who knows? He'll be back in. I felt for him, you know, because we'd almost said our goodbyes and wished each other well, and you know, been all sentimental about it. And then 10:30 on Thursday night, you know, we talked and it weren't. And then we spoke again at sort of midnight when I was on my way home, and I felt for him because, you know, he needs to step up to the next level, and like I say, we won't begrudge him that. Just thank him for all his efforts. That said, if he's back in training on Monday, you know, he'll be available for Tuesday.
And is there a possibility he could play Tuesday?
Yeah. I'll see what state he's in mentally. You know, it must be tough for him. I think he spent quite a few hours at the new club and at Swindon and trying to sort out everything. And it just, you know, it's not quite happened. So I'm speaking to him tomorrow. I believe he was at the game today. You know, he's brilliant. He's been a fantastic part of what we've tried to do over the last couple of years, and I'm sure we'll get a resolution on it one way or the other.
So the end of a busy week for you, busiest week in football?
Possibly the busiest week I've had for a long time. Yeah, meeting players, signing players, meeting the board to get, you know, going to watch a game, doing everything. Thursday night I was just leaving the training ground at 20 to 8, and I thought everything was done. I thought there was a little. I was just waiting on the Luke Rooney and Marlon one just getting ratified, but I was confident that I'd done all I could. We'd done all we could. Paul Godfrey's been an absolute star over, well, he always is, but he knows his stuff. But this week he's had to work like a Trojan, to be honest. And I get a call from Neil Hardley at 20 to 8. Do you still want to make the deal happen? And I'd literally at 6 o'clock it weren't happening. We called it off, and there was no way Byron was going to get up and for a medical and whatever else. But we made a quick decision. We got it done. Spoke to a couple of people, and delighted to have him too.
And one player obviously went apparent very short notice was Alan Bennett. What was the story there?
Jeff. I asked Jeff what he wanted to do. He got a possible loan move. I got a possible loan move lined up for him. It didn't quite materialise on the day. I think it would have been resurrected this week. Just asked him if he wanted to come to an agreement on his, you know, a compromise on his contract. He was one of the first players I brought to the club. I think he told me, I had a good chat with him actually on Thursday. I think he said I got junior just before him, and then Jeff. I can remember meeting him at Newbury Services and thrashing out a deal for him, and you know, he was a big part of that season when Wes Thomas and the combination they had. He's been great. He's not all, you know, he's not always been in, but he's been good around the place. And like I said, we did a deal. Paul did a deal with him, and he needed to sort a few things out back in London with his family, and I just thank him for his efforts and wish him well. And then I think it was 10 o'clock. I got a text message off Alan Bennett. We obviously we're talking to Neil at Wimbledon. He'd asked me about Benno, and it's strange. Like we were going after Luke Rooney and Luke Rooney, and then Benno's at it was a little triangle of, you know, the agent was Benno's agent, was Gary Alexander's agent, who was moving to Wimbledon to facilitate the Byron Harrison move happening. So I was on the agent. Is Gary going? And then all of a sudden Benno texted me at 10 o'clock just saying would we come to an agreement again. He's been brilliant for me for the last 18 months. The best leader I could have asked for on and off the pitch. He's been fantastic. I just felt it was the right time for him to move on. I just felt I've been concerned with the goals that we've been conceding, and believe me, they're not down to Alan Bennett. I'm not saying that in the slightest, but I wanted some pace back there, I wanted Michael Hector back there. I wanted, you know, that type of player to go with the more experienced heads that we've got. You know, I was concerned that going up to Chesterfield, Rochdale, Rotherham, we were letting in goals out of nothing really. And like I said, that's nothing to do with Alan Bennett. He's been a fantastic servant. He's led that dressing room for the last 18 months. He's been a model professional, but he also realised that it's football, and we came to a mutual agreement. We did we sort of came to an agreement on the remainder of his contract. Good deal for good deal for us, good deal for him. And I think, I'm led to believe he went and signed for Wimbledon the day after. But it was important we got it done for him then, because then he could then go anywhere.